Hello everybody and welcome back to Faster Than a Bullet. It's been a wee while. We're back this week. I had my last assignments due last week, which was why I was not available for an episode. But today we're going to be talking about MotoGP and the French Grand Prix. We're going to be, and its respective feeder series. We're going to be talking about that brilliant ending to that WEC race in Spa. We're going to be talking a little bit about IndyCar and how Alex Palou finally didn't win a road course this year. Woo! And NASCAR, and how SVG obviously won in Watkins Glen, and Connor Zilic got robbed of a victory. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. It is, of course, episode number... Is this episode 10 or is this episode 11? This is episode 10! We have officially hit 10 episodes, guys. So that means this is finally going to be going on Spotify. I decided to make it a rule because what tends to happen a lot is people start a podcast and then after about 3 or 4 episodes, they give it up and the remains of it are just on Spotify. I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. And I decided, I'll keep the first 10 episodes exclusively to YouTube and I won't bother posting any clips from it up until the time was right. I just realized I flicked that the wrong way. My hair's the wrong way. So the next episode onwards will be on Spotify, hopefully. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So we will start off with what we had first, and that was Saturday. So there was actually quite a lot on Saturday. So IMS Road Course IndyCar was on. So was the World Endurance Championship, and so was the MotoGP Sprint. So I'll get my Autosport calendar up, which is what I always use for this, because that means I can look very quickly at what was last weekend. And yeah, there we go. So we'll begin with IndyCar. So IndyCar had a brilliant race in a lot of ways, because it meant Alex Palou didn't win. But overall, it was all right. It was a decent race. I watched it all the way through. I was looking after my brother, so I was at home watching it. And it was a decent race. Obviously, Christian Lundgaard, if you didn't know already, spoiler alert, took his first win of the season and his first win with McLaren. It was a fantastic race, especially for Graham Rahal, who took his second podium of the season. Pardon me. I'm going to go and very quickly get the actual results of it up right now, just so I can quickly go through it, and then we can chat about it. So let me get it up right here. There we go. Now, there we go. So, yeah, Christian Lundgaard took victory for Arrow McLaren. He won by 4 seconds from David Malukas, and those two had a brilliant scrap for the victory. One thing that was clear was that whichever one of the top 3 would win, it was going to be a big story, because Graham Rahal hasn't won a race in IndyCar in 9 years now, almost. It was Mid-Ohio, I believe it was. David Malukas has never won, and it would have been a shock if it was on a road course, because with all respect to David Malukas, and I would consider myself somebody who is an admirer of his, he is better on the ovals than he is on the road courses. And so it's a little bit of a shock that he almost won on Saturday. And he actually led the most laps. So there were 4 drivers who actually led laps. Will Power led a few laps, because like in Arlington, he went on a different strategy. Didn't pay off for him that time. This time, I should say. Him, Pato O'Ward, they were on a different strategy to everybody else. And they tried to go a bit longer into the race. Kevin Simpson did the same thing. Simpson's didn't work out for a different reason, and that was namely the fact that he had a few incidents, but he still finished 12th in the end, to be fair, better than I thought he had. So yeah, Lundgaard and Malukas basically fought at the front, because what happened was Palou led the early laps ahead of Kirkwood and Malukas. Lundgaard slowly worked his way up the field, but what happened was Alexander Rossi had an engine failure in the straight, and while it was a local yellow, nearly everybody came in, and then as soon as the safety car, the caution came out, Palou and Kirkwood pitted, but the car was already out at that point. And the caution car, safety car, I'm going to call it safety car because I'm an F1 fan. The safety car came out and they were basically put right to the back and they had to work their way up the order, and both did so very well. Polo finished in 5th in the end and Kirkwood finished in 9th. And by the end of the race, he was only 2 seconds behind Dennis Hauger in 8th, who we will get on to. But Lundgaard had a brilliant race. Him and Malukas' battle for the win was absolutely fantastic, especially just after Malukas came out the pits, because what happened was Lundgaard undercutted him. Malukas stayed out far too long on his set of tyres, and he lost about 3 seconds to Lundgaard in about 10 laps. It was crazy. What happened was Malukas got undercut by Lundgaard by a lap. Malukas initially came out ahead, but Lundgaard got ahead of him because he was on warmer tyres, and he went right around the outside of him. It was shades of Grosjean at Barber against Scott McLaughlin. But only this time, the person who pulled off the move actually won the race. Lundgaard controlled it for the rest of it. Because what actually happened was when he originally came out of the pits after his second stop, he was actually closer to Rahal in 3rd than he was to Malukas in 1st. So I messaged friend of the channel, Luke Watson, Mr. Storm, that Malukas was on for his first win, because I was thinking surely he's got this in the bag, short of a caution. And it didn't happen for him because Lundgaard was just an animal, in that second and third stint, and Malukas just could not keep up with him. But it was a brilliant result from Graham Rahal. I'm not surprised. RLL were actually looked like they were going to be on for 3 top 10 finishes. And then Santino Ferrucci decided, I'm going to just brake test Mick Schumacher. Now, people were saying, oh, it's a rookie mistake from Schumacher. I disagree, and the reason why is because Ferrucci went so slow through the turn, and Schumacher hit the back of him, but I'll get onto that later. A really good result for Rahal. That's his third place finish of the season. The 8 stats will come out on Tuesday, probably. Newgarden finished in 4th. He is having a quiet but consistent season, although he hasn't been on the same level as his teammates, aka teammate Malukas. Palou in 5th, yeah, I don't need to talk about him. Dixon in 6th, yeah, Scott Dixon just doing what he usually does, which is just fuel save and go under the radar and, find a way to finish in the top 10. Louis Foster with a really good performance, finishing in 7th, only a second away from finishing in 6th. Dennis Hauger, what a result. I'm sure Grosjean would have been up there if he hadn't had the contact with Armstrong. That is what happened, as far as I'm aware, with Armstrong and him. Armstrong ended up finishing 11th, but Grosjean had a lot of damage from it, and as a result, he finished down in 21st and was one of only 2 or 3 guys that were actually a lap down by the end of the race. Because what happened was when Lundgaard and Malukas came out of the pits, Grosjean was just ahead of him. So eventually those two came around to lapping him, and this was with about 20 laps to go, which shows how much the damage affected him. So Hauger had a really good race in 8th. He is showing, that European pedigree when it comes to road and street courses. Of course, he started the season really well in St. Petersburg with a similar finish. Kirkwood, and similarly to Palou, they had to come through the field. They both managed to do so quite well. Nolan Siegel got his first top 10 of the season. He had a decent performance. He would have been the last McLaren if Pato hadn't had his incident at turn 1, because it was chaos at turn 1. I'm not even going to talk about it because so much happened that it would take ages for me to actually be able to summarise it. Armstrong in 11th, again, considering the contact he had with Grosjean, the fact that he dropped in the order a little bit, it was a decent result. Simpson, considering he was on the alternative strategy, same with Power, not a bad finish. Ferrucci, he was driving like a moron. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna blame Mick Schumacher for that. And the reason why is very simple, right? When you are a racing driver and your tires are totally screwed and you're driving very slowly and you're going into a one-line corner like Ferrucci and Schumacher were, only one thing is going to happen. Because unless Schumacher brakes heavily into a corner where you lift a little bit before you brake into the next corner, because it's left-right, you're not going to brake though. You're not going to brake because you're lifting off. But Ferrucci lifts off way too much. Schumacher goes into the back of him and they give Schumacher a penalty for avoidable contact. In my opinion, what is Schumacher supposed to do to avoid that? Put on the brakes heavily? try and turn his car right when it's a one-lane corner? When it's a one-lane corner? See, I would get it if it was turn 1. Because turn 1, you can go too wide through there. You can't really go too wide through the corner they had contact in. So I don't blame Mick for that. I'm sorry, I don't. VK had a poor race in 15th, considering how good he's been this season on the road and street courses. McLaughlin's just having a bad season. Stingray Rob, 17th, I suppose. Was very, very poor when it came to the contact with Rosenqvist. That was totally on him, and he deserved a penalty for that. That one could have been avoided. Properly could have been avoided, I'm talking. Colette in 19th, to be fair, AJ Foyt just didn't look very quick. And then you got Mick in 20th, Grosjean in 21st, I discussed. Ericsson retired. I don't remember what actually happened to him. It says mechanical here, and I think that is what happened. And then both the ECR cars had mechanical problems, which is a shame because they were running really well in qualifying. I don't remember where they qualified, but I'll have a little look here. Yeah. Rossi was literally just outside the fast 12, so he was really, really strong. I think anyway. Hang on, was he round 2? Was he? I thought he was in round 2. Was he not? Oh no, he wasn't. I'm just checking it now. Both the ECR cars were in the same session. Yeah, Rossi was literally just outside of it, outside getting in. And Rasmussen is better on the oval, so I'm expecting him and Malukas to be very strong at the 500, and I cannot wait for the 500. By the way, guys, I'm so looking forward to it this year. It's going to be amazing, hopefully, especially because Malukas is in better machinery than he was last year. Oh, Spurs have actually scored a goal! Wow, I'm keeping an eye on the football because I am a football fan, as you guys probably know. I'm doing the Jokeres thing right now with the hair flick. I can't wait for the 500, yeah. Malukas is in better machinery. RLL hopefully won't have as much problems as they have had. So, just having a little check there. That's sort of IndyCar covered. By the way, well done to Timek Kuharczyk, I think is how you pronounce his name. The first Polish driver to win a race in the Indy Next Series. Also, congratulations to Enzo Fittipaldi on his win. Unfortunately, his number is 67, and when my brother and I were watching the Indy Next race, he was like, number 67! He was going like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. He is 9, so you gotta let him off, but, oh gosh. Anyway, IndyCar is, that's done, 12 minutes that took. Next, we have WEC, and I watched this with my brother as well. The only thing I didn't watch with my brother was NASCAR and IndyCar. We watched WEC together. The reason why we didn't watch IndyCar, the race anyway, was because he was in bed. It was past his bedtime. He's 9. He went to bed at 9 o'clock. I was looking after him. Very well behaved. But we did watch qualifying together, to be fair. And by the way, when we did our predictions, we both got the same amount right for both groups. And then, for the first, so both groups we got the same amount right, and then the Fast 12, I got more than he did, but he went and said Palou for pole. I didn't realise we were doing that, and so I went Pato. Pato finished second, and Palou got pole by like half a second. Thank goodness Palou didn't win, by the way, because honestly, I'm fed up with his... It's a compliment to him that I don't want him to win, because he's that good a driver, you know, And the 8 and the 10 crew are that good at what they do. It sucks that they're that good. Anyway, now we move on to the World Endurance Championship next, and that is going to be a very fun little review to do because the 6 hours of Spa were, as I said, the last sort of 20-30 minutes of it were fantastic. I just want to very quickly say though, what on earth was Antonio Felix da Costa thinking with that driving that he was doing? Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the clip, but he basically just completely wiped out one of the Aston Martins. It was terrible. Like, basically, the Aston Martin's right behind him, coming onto the straight, the Kimmel straight. Kimmel. I need to remember it like the planet in Star Wars. Yeah, so 6 hours of Spa. It was a really, really interesting last 20 minutes or so. So... yeah, I've got the results here. So, the BMWs finished 1-2. if I switch between saying BMW and BMW, apologies. BMW is the German way to pronounce it. BMW is the English way. So BMW won. They got a 1-2 as well, and Kevin Magnussen in that last stint was absolutely outstanding. He was in the 15 BMW, and in the lead was Robin Frijns in the 20 BMW. So in case you didn't know already, basically how it works is in the World Endurance Championship, there is basically, let me just get it up right now, get the year, get it, there we go, get the race up. So basically, how it works is that you can pick up to 3 drivers to do an event, if it's less than 8 hours, I think. So there was 6 hours in Imola and in Spa, and in this race it was Robin Frijns and Rennie Ras driving one of the BMWs, and then the other one was being driven by Sheldon. Sheldon van der Linde was driving in that one as well, and then in the other one was Magnussen, Raffaele Marcello, and Dries Vanthoor, who was a home driver. So it's a shame that one didn't win, that the other BMW didn't win, but they finished second in the end. And in the last stint, Magnussen basically parked it. It was shades of, like, I don't know if you guys remember 2024 Haas, right? In the first sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 races of the season, what would happen is Nico Hülkenberg would pit very early on in the race and undercut everybody else, and Kevin Magnussen, his teammate, would hold everybody else up behind him so Hülkenberg could jump ahead of him if Magnussen had out-qualified him or qualified really well. And it worked the first sort of 7 or 8 races of the season until everybody else figured it out, and then it just sort of stopped working. But it was a really, really good strategy. And it was shades of that. His defensive driving was outstanding. Of course, it is tricky to pass around Spa, but it was still a fantastic defensive job. And what happened was there was a couple of cautions that came out. Because, first of all, Pierre Guidi had an incident at the hairpin, and then the Aston Martin had a crash in the straight, and I'll get to that when I'm looking at sort of the whole order. So Pierre Guidi was in the 51 Ferrari, and then the Aston Martin 009, this is the hypercars, both of them hypercars, had contact on the Kemmel Straight with the Alpine. So what happened was on the first caution, there were 6 cars that were in a pack together, right? It was the 2 BMWs, the Ferrari Fuoco, one of the Aston Martins, the Toyota, and the Alpine, right? And what happened was on the restart, the Alpine took out the Aston Martin. The Alpine didn't have any damage, and the reason why there was a pack of 6 was because there was GT cars, because obviously it's multi-car class, and all of the other hypercars, so the Aston Martin, the Ferrari, the Peugeot, the Genesis, the Cadillac, the Toyota, the other Toyota, and the other Alpine, were all stuck behind these GT cars, and only the Aston Martin got through before the caution came back out. And what happened was, the Aston Martin managed to get free of the GT cars and caught up to the pack on the restart. So once they got restarted again, there were 6 of them again. Only one Aston Martin had been replaced by the other, and then the Alpine spins old Rugen Radion, and it's like really dangerous, and he almost takes out the other Aston Martin. He picks up damage, but there isn't a caution that comes out. And so now we've got 5 cars in a pack. Frijns begins pulling away, and Magnussen begins holding up Fuoco in the Ferrari. I think it was it Gamble that was in the Aston Martin? In the 007 Aston Martin? Yes, it was. And it was Kobayashi that was in the Toyota, right? And these guys are battling. It's a really, really good battle. And behind them, Kubica and Van Dorn are battling for what becomes 6th. Pipo Derani's hanging on to 8th in the Genesis, doing a really, really good job, getting first points for them. And then the GT car class, there's a battle between Alessio Rivera, Marvin Kirchhofer, and I think it was Benji Goethe for the race win. Rivera gets a penalty for a dangerous pit exit, and as a result, Kirchhofer and Goethe basically battle for the win. I think it was those two that battled for the win. Let me just check that very quickly to see that I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure if I've got that right. Oh no, it was Drudy. It was Drudy. So it was Goethe was in 5th. That's right, and Guven, was behind him with Schmid. Because Lopez and Goethe had a really nice battle. I remember that now. Yeah, because I was telling my brother that's Oliver Goethe's brother, and then that's Jose Maria Lopez, who was a World Touring Car champion. Because obviously he doesn't know as much about the World Endurance Championship as I do. He's really knowledgeable on F1, by the way, for a 9-year-old. Like, he probably knows more than quite a lot of, like, F1 fans do. Which is quite crazy, but it's true. Like, he spends so much of his time watching, like, F1 documentaries or, like, reading an F1 book. Like, he's so knowledgeable on it. It's crazy. So, yes. Back to the results of the Hypercar. So, Franz took the win. And then it was Magnussen hanging on by the end. It was some amazing driving from Magnussen. The battle between him and Foco was amazing. And what happened was when they were lapping the GT cars, because they managed to get all the way around and start lapping the GT cars again, the same GT cars that were holding one of the Astons up earlier, and it was crazy. They were lapping them, and thankfully there was no incidents, but they were, moving left and right, trying to avoid them. And the Aston Martin managed to get ahead of the Toyota. The Aston Martin was on new tyres, so you were thinking, oh, maybe the Aston Martin will catch the Ferrari and the BMW, but they couldn't in the end. So the Aston Martin finished in 4th, got their best result in the Hypercar class, so well done to those guys. They're doing a really, really good job. This is their sophomore year, so now you're expecting a bit more of them. Genesis, 8th place, great job for them. I'm really happy for them. Brilliant from Pipo Durrani and from Andre Losser, and was it Jalbert that was it was Jalbert to get the 8th place. So a brilliant result for them. A really bad race for Alpine because one of them finished literally barely outside the points because it was I think it was Victor Martin's. I don't know if it was Conway by the end or if it was it was it Buemi that was in the car by the end. Conway's in the one with Kobayashi, so he is. So basically, at the end, there was a three-way battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th between the 12 Cadillac, which is Cassidy, Nato, Stevens, and Delatraz. Cassidy finished in 7th while battling, because he was battling with Kubica. I forgot Cassidy drives for Peugeot, not Cadillac. I can't believe I've got that wrong. My mind is blanking sometimes, guys. Don't worry. I'm okay. So basically, one of the Alpines finished 2 laps down, the one that Da Costa was in, taking out one Aston Martin and almost taking out the other one and having a horrific accident. Second one, I'm not going to blame him for because he lost the control of the car, but the first one is unforgivable. Like, he just completely wiped him out. It was you'd think that was like a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old driving, not a man who has won a Formula E championship and is widely regarded as one of Portugal's greatest ever racing drivers. It's wild to me that actually happened with him as well. And I feel really, really bad for the 009 Aston Martin team because they were running really well and they were on to finish like at least like 5th and 6th probably. So really unfortunate for them. However, the positive for them is a part of the reason why they were able to get 4th was because of the incident. Because the caution came out and the 007 was able to catch up and they managed to get 4th with that. So positive and the negative came from that incident, I suppose. Not a good day for Ferrari, to be honest. I mean, they did get 3rd, and they didn't really have much pace today. So it was actually it wasn't that bad considering how little pace they had in qualifying. They finished 3rd and 6th, which was quite good. The other one obviously had an issue. What happened was one of the GT cars lost control and hit the back of the Ferrari and just completely broke the radiator off of it. There was liquid at the side of the turn 1, and so it took quite a while for them to get it cleaned up. And that was the reason why one of the safety cars came out, and then the other one, as I said, was for the Aston Martin. This was in the final hour of it. But overall, it was a really entertaining race, WEC. It was lots and lots of fun. I really, really enjoyed watching it with my brother. Some great, bonding time with him. Soon he's going to be at the age where he's not wanting hugs and kisses anymore. He'll be like, oh, leave me alone. I'm going to go in my room and play Fortnite or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully he's not like that. And this time he wasn't begging for me to play with him, which is amazing. So we didn't play any video games, which is quite nice. We just spent time watching motorsport, which was lovely. So that's the stuff from the 9th of May done. Then we've got the stuff from the 10th of May. So, NASCAR MotoGP. That is what was on. I don't know why doesn't it come up on here? It's a bit weird that didn't come up on there. Anyway, next we've got MotoGP. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I couldn't catch all of it. And the reason why is because I was watching the old firm. So in case you didn't know already, I am a Ranger. No, I'm joking. I'm a Celtic fan. I'm even wearing blue right now. But let me just tell you, when Izan Maeda went like this and scored, I was absolutely ecstatic, let's say. Okay, guys, it's like Friday now and I'm editing this. I don't even know if I want Celtic to win the league anymore after what happened on Wednesday night. back to the pod. Back to the podcast. I was absolutely buzzing. It was amazing. The bliss I felt. When that goal went in. I was shocked. I was in shock. It was like it was just incredible. Just watching it happen. I was like, he just scored that. But anyway, what I did watch was, just Aprilia dominating. Congratulations to Ayagura, first MotoGP podium for him. It had been coming for a while, and he finally got it, so fair play to him. Aprilia are just dominating at the moment, but the positive thing is unlike the last year, we're actually going to have a title fight between the two riders. It's just, as long as Bezecchi and Martin don't get injured, we're going to have a title fight between those two, and I'm buzzing about it. Another rider I have to say fair play to, DG. Imagine saying to somebody 6 months ago, Fabio De Gianantonio, after 5 races, will be the top Ducati in the standings by, 20 points? 27, almost 30 points. He's clear of Marc Marquez. And then after that, he's 41 clear of Alex. That is how good he's been this season. So, fair play to DG. He's been outstanding in the main races, not so much in the sprints. Not as much in the sprints anyway. I mean, he's had a mixed bag there. Bez actually got his first points, his first sprint podium of the season. And Pecco finished second in the sprint, but once again he retired from the main race. Another rider who I want to give a fair play to, Fabio Quartararo, absolutely carrying that Yamaha. To be fair, it was a good weekend for Yamaha because all 4 of their riders finished the race and they all got points. Miller got his first point of the season, Rins finished in 12th and got 4 points, and Toprak got 3 points, so fair play to those guys. Franco Morbidelli had an absolute stinker again, so I hope and pray that his Ducati contract is getting, because he is performing nowhere near good enough. Because to be fair to Aldeguer, who's finished 9th twice in a row now, he's just coming back from injury. Frankie's not been good for 2 years now, at least. Actually, no, he hasn't been good since 2020. I want to have a little look at this guy's results, right? When was the last time he actually had a genuinely good? Yeah, 2020. That was the last time he had a genuinely good season. People are like, oh, he got a few podiums in 2025. Yeah, but he was on a Ducati that dominated the standings and the season. It's not that impressive. And the thing is, people, I'm going to just say this now. I am not an expert. I am not a motorcycle rider. My dad rode bikes, so he's got more knowledge on it than I do in terms of how it works and things like that. And I don't have the credentials to go, oh, this guy is terrible, and insult them. But he's not been good enough. He's not been good enough. And I just don't think he should be riding a competitive bike like that, especially when you look at where DG is. I mean, DG is performing brilliantly. He is performing the way you would expect Morbidelli to be. And that is exactly why I'm hoping whoever goes to Ducati into that VR46 seat does well next year. Because, I mean, I just don't think that it's deserved for Franco to be on the Ducati. Same with Pecco, by the way. Neither of them have been good enough in the last 2 years, this season and last season. and in Morbidelli's case since 2020. So yeah, Acosta once again carrying. Basically, in case you didn't know the results, Martin won ahead of Bezzecchi, and then it was Ayagura, Pedro Acosta, DG, and then Acosta. As I said, I didn't watch all of it because I was busy watching the Old Firm, and my dad told me that DG pipped Pedro at the line. I think that was the exact words that my dad used. So yeah, fair play to DG for eking that out and getting an extra 2 points. As I said, Fabio got 6th, which was a great result for the home crowd. 7th was Enea Bastianini in what is his 3rd top 10 finish in a row, so good result for him. He's quickly becoming very consistent at KTM. He's doing better than Binder is. Binder didn't finish. Aldeguer finished in 9th, and 8th was Raul Fernandez. Not a great race for him. He's not been... I mean, he had a good weekend in Spain, but Thailand was a good race, and then since then he's just not been as quick as Agura has been. He's not been as consistent as Agura has, because when Agura's finished races, he's not finished lower than 5th, and it's not like a case of Mir where it's like he's binning at every race. He's literally only retired once, and that was in America, while he was actually chasing a podium as well. I remember that he was performing really well, and then he crashed. And we'll get to Mir and Honda in a minute because they did not have a good weekend. Yeah, in fact, we'll get to them now. Marini was in 10th, so he was Aldeguer was 9th, the lowest Ducati that finished. But to be fair, he's just coming back from injury, so again, don't expect him to be in the top 5. Oh, there's a penalty check going here for is it for Leeds or is it for Spurs? It says penalty check Ethan Ampadu, so I don't know if it's for or against. It's probably for Spurs and against Leeds, but anyway, yeah, Marini got a top 10. He had a good race. Honda just hadn't got much pace this weekend. It's a shame it didn't rain, because I think Zarco would have performed very well in the rain. I think it's quite crazy because a lot of people would think, oh, you're going to a race, surely you don't want it to rain. But for the French fans, I think they would have wanted it to rain. And unfortunately for them, it didn't rain. So that was the top 10. And then it was Zarco, Rins, Toprak, Razgat Lioglu, Morbidelli, and then Miller, and then Jonas Folger, legend, German legend, finished in 16th because he's on the KTM replacing Vinales, who's injured. I think the check's over, but I don't know if it's been given as a penalty. And then retiring from the race was Mir, Moreira, Bagnaia, and Alex Marquez. They all crashed out. I'm not surprised I'm not surprised Mir crashed out. That man has a record for crashing. He has a penchant for it. Has it been given as a penalty? I think it has. Because, hang on, I'm itching my nose, guys. My nose is really itchy, which is quite annoying. There we go. So yeah, it was quite. Wait, hang on. Was it a? Yeah, it's a check for Leeds having a penalty. Not Leeds. Spurs having a penalty. So it wasn't a good race for Honda. Yamaha had a much better race, but to be fair, their standards are on the floor right now. I'll see. Do I have a bar anywhere? I'm trying to see if I do like a thing. Oh my gosh, no! It was a Leeds penalty. So this is where the bar should be for Yamaha, right? This is where it actually is. This is where the bar should be for Honda. This is where it actually is. This is where the bar should be for KTM. This is where it actually is. Aprilia, and then Ducati. So there you go. That's everything. By the way, I hope Marc Marquez gets better soon. It's a shame that he crashed, and it was a horrible crash. And I think we were all wanting a title fight with him and Jorge and Bez this season. Unfortunately, it's not happening due to his injury. maybe DG can be the alternative threat, but he is already 43 points back from the two Aprilias. To be fair, it's a feel-good story that Aprilia are doing so well, but they're just dominating. Like, Alex Marquez really just broke their spell of winning. In Moto2, I'm going to talk about the feeder series here. Izan Guevara took victory. It was a really good performance from him. It was a really, really good race from him. Gonzalez finished in second, Ortola in third, Lopez in fourth, David Alonso in fifth, Vietti sixth, and Senna Aegis in seventh. Eighth was Joe Roberts. Ninth was Philip Salich, which was his first top 10 of the season. And in 10th was Aaron Canet with his first top 10 of the season as well. It's not been a great season for either of them, but maybe this will be finally them getting into the swing of things. But what I like is the fact that Gonzalez, Guevara, and Aegis are not far off each other. There's only, there's 20 points between the top three, but it's still quite tight at the top. Holgado didn't have a very good race. He got disqualified. I think what happened was, didn't he crash and then he got disqualified after that? I'm pretty sure he did. But anyway. No, it was a technical infringement. He completed the race without a fender. Oh, he got disqualified for that. Wow. Not great. And then Moto3, it was terrible weather, and Quiles was outstanding. He perfectly just held it on a knife edge. There was so many crashers, by the way. There were so many crashes, right? Valentin Peroni and Marco Morelli both crashed out of the race, and they finished 11th and 13th because they managed to get back going again. It was Uriarte, sorry. I think, Morelli crashed as well. Uriarte crashed too, and he got a point. So it was a very, very crash-heavy race. Adrian Cruces had a great race. He was running in, I think, 6th, and then he got a penalty, did the long lap, went down to about 11th, and then he got back up to 7th again. Eddie O'Shea got a top 10, so fair play to him. I don't often give British riders credit because they get overhyped, but not a bad race from him. Decent start to the season for him as well. His first top 10 in the Hakim Danish and Veda Pratima once again impressing the Asian riders. I thought Pratima was going to get a podium at one point, but Bertelli had a really, really good second half of the race. And Pratima still finished 5th in the end, which was a really, really good result for him. I don't actually know where he is in the standings now. I think he might be... Is he 3rd in the standings now? I think Quiles will be leading. Oh no, he's 5th. Peroni had a really good opportunity because Carpe crashed out. Peroni had a really good opportunity to move ahead of him in the standings, but he's 1 point behind Carpe now. Pratima, as I said, is doing a great job for a rookie. He's currently the highest rookie in the standings by quite some margin, and he's doing great. It's a shame Casey O'Gorman retired. I was quite sad when he crashed out, but that's the way racing is sometimes, unfortunately. So yeah, Guevara's win though. I think we all know that he's going to be in MotoGP next year. He is going to be replacing Alex Rins or replacing somebody in Yamaha, maybe Miller, because he's not doing good enough. What the rumors are is, and this is very complex, Jorge Martin is going to go to Yamaha. Fabio Quartararo is going to go to Honda. Ayagura is going to go to Yamaha, I'm pretty sure is what the rumor is. Pecco Bagnaia is going to go to Aprilia. Pedro Acosta is going to go to Ducati. And then we don't know who's going to go to KTM. But that's sort of what's being said around the paddock, basically, in MotoGP. So that's sort of that's what's going on with MotoGP. And I mean, to be honest, Gonzalez will probably be put in one of the seats, and so will Guevara. Maybe Alonso or Holgado will get a seat as well. Those are probably the four that will, the four Spaniards. Sorry, Alonso's Colombian. The 3 Spaniards in the Colombian, they're probably going to be the ones who are going to get seats this season. Piqueras just got completely screwed over by getting that injury in Brazil, and he's missed, in America, and he's missed a few races, so his rookie season is not going well so far. But none of the rookies are really performing that well in Moto2, especially Jose Antonio Reda. He's not had a good season at all. 1 point in America. and that's all he's had this season. But to be fair, you know that a field is competitive when, you know, Arbolino, Roberts, and Canet and Salich are all struggling, you know, and Dennis Onchu as well. All of whom are a great rider. Actually, no, Onchu's still relatively new to the class, isn't he? This is his second season, isn't it? But those guys are very experienced in the class and they're struggling. Meanwhile, you've got guys like Colin Vire, who are doing very well in the rookie season. Guevara's showing the pace that we saw in, what was it, 2022? Yeah, it's crazy. That was 2022 when he won it. I remember that crash he had in America. I think it was America. Was it America? No. When was that crash in America? There was a crash in America, I think Moto3. It was crazy. There was a massive crash. It was Garcia that had it, sorry. That was who it was that had the crash. And he benefited from it. That was what happened. So it's taken 2.5 seasons for him to really get the ball rolling. Now he's in his fourth season now, which is crazy. 23, 24, 25. Yeah, he's in his fourth season now, which is crazy. But he is really, really talented. Izan Guevara. He's still really young. He's only 21. Like that. He won Moto3 so young that basically the rest of he basically just it didn't. Him winning Moto3 so young didn't help him. Basically, because now he's in his fourth season of Moto2 and people are like, oh, it took him 4 seasons for him to do well. But the thing is he got promoted so young to Moto2. But now we move on to NASCAR, and to be honest, there's really not much to talk about, to be honest. I mean, Shane van Gisbergen won. Connor Zilic probably could have won. It was a typical race at the Glen. My boy Carson got completely screwed over by his strategy. I find it amazing the fact that 32 of the guys still finished in the lead lap. Wow. But yeah, it was a brilliant race for Joe Gibbs as well. Unsurprisingly, Allmendinger got a top 10. Nemechek got a top 10. Busch got a top 10. Basically, there was a caution with I think 30 laps to go, and what happened was people tried to make it to the end. Oh wait, no, sorry, it was after stage 2. No, it was. Oh yeah, I remember. It was the tent. There was a tent that got blown onto the track, and people came into the pits and tried to make it to the end, and it didn't work. Whereas Van Gisbergen, McDowell, and a couple others pitted and managed to make it to the end. Zilic got damage and finished down in I think 30th or so, 20th. Sorry, is where he finished. And he had to pit with about 4 laps left, and he got completely screwed over by that. I think he could have won if that hadn't happened to him. Honestly, Connor Zilic has got the worst luck in NASCAR right now. Honestly, the poor guy cannot catch a break. So I feel really, really bad for him. But honestly, there's not really much to talk about in NASCAR. It was just Van Gisbergen being Van Gisbergen, and that result has put him into the top 16, which is what you need to be to get in to the playoffs. Allmendinger had a really good race as well, and so as a result he is still a fair way off. But I think what we're really beginning to see now is there are sort of 18, maybe 20 guys who can get into the playoffs at the moment based on the current momentum. And the guys that are outside are Briscoe, Logano, Chastain, and Allmendinger. Maybe McDowell and Busch are in there, but yeah, unless Zilic like really improves. And to be fair, I feel really bad for Bowman, because Bowman has been performing quite well. This wasn't he had a difficult race yesterday, but he's been performing really well since he came back from the vertigo injury. And if he hadn't had that, he would have been in the top 20, 100%. I mean, I also just wanted to say, very sad news about his dog getting cancer. I heard that he lost his other dog a few years ago as well, which is quite sad. So best wishes with Alex Bowman, his family, and his dog. Cancer sucks. 160 points adrift. He missed 4 races. If he'd have gotten 40 points each race, maybe not. I mean, maybe not, because that would mean he'd have to finish, top 5 every weekend. But he would be up there. He would be a lot closer than he actually is. which is so it's a shame for him. But how the standings are looking, Reddick is still about 130 points ahead of Hamlin, because even though he didn't win, he's still finished in the top 10. I mean, I'm waiting for the day where he doesn't. It's crazy. He hasn't won a single stage this season, Tyler Reddick. He hasn't won a single stage this season. According to this points report from NASCAR, he hasn't won a single stage this season. Ross Chastain has won 3 stages, right? Eric Jones has won more stages than him this season. Zane Smith has won more stages than him this season. Austin Cindric and Priest have. Yeah, because Priest won a stage at the Talladega, didn't he? So yeah, 3 guys in the top 10 haven't won stages. Reddick, Buescher, and Carson. And Buescher's not won a race in general, so he's just been pure consistency this season. Yeah, the RFK cars, man, they're so consistent. It's ridiculous. All 3 of them are in the top 15 of the standings. All 3 of them are in the. Are they the only team that have all their cars in? Or no? Do Gibbs have all their cars in? Yeah, Gibbs have all theirs in, I think. Or yeah, they do. Penske have 2 in at the moment. Hendrick have 3. Elliott, 2. Sorry. Pretty sure, right? Oh wait, no, they don't. I forgot Briscoe. Yeah, Briscoe's just outside. So Joe Gibbs have. Yeah. So RFK are the only team that have all of their cars in the chase at the moment. Actually, no, 2311 don't, because Herbst is 29th, yeah, in the standings. Only RFK have all their cars in the playoff, in the chase at the moment. So yeah, Reddick's leading the standings, and then it's Hamlin, Chase Elliott, then it's Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, my boy Carson. He lost the place to Gibbs, but he's still, he's not doing too bad. He had a bad weekend. That happens. He's still, doing brilliantly this season. The man who's won the hearts of all of America, of Americans, I think is what. Is that what Boyer said, or was it Mike Joy that said that? One of them said that. Larson in 8th. Keselowski's just doing his thing. See, Keselowski is performing how we expect Kyle Busch to be performing. Although Busch did finish 8th, which is better from him, but it is still way below the standard that he has set for himself in recent times. Especially considering the whole thing with Sean Hannity and the hate list that he has, considering, Logano's not in the playoff anymore, but Logano, Keselowski, and Hocevar being there, and Keselowski and Hocevar being top 10 in the standings. But yeah, Bubba Wallace is in 10th. After a great start of the season, it sort of went away a little bit from him, but he's still in there. Bell had a really bad run of form, and I think, did that end? I think that ended, didn't it? Nope, it continued. He finished 21st. Bell's now 5 races within a top 20. Or is it 6? I think it's 5, isn't it? Which is wild. And he's still 11 in the standings. Byron's not had a great run of it recently either. Priest has been really consistent. I think Priest, Buescher, and Keselowski are just... The RFK cars are just in that bracket of they're consistent. Suarez is still there as well. So Spire are doing a great job. If McDowell has, 5 or 6 really good rounds, and Suarez and Hocevar keep it up, Spire could have all 3 cars in, which would be crazy. But yeah, Suarez is in 14th, doing a very good job. He's there on merit. And then Cindric is in 15th. And then the last spot currently is SVG by 6 points from Briscoe. And then Logano's quite a bit back from that. The top 17 are within 300 points of Reddick in the lead of the standings. And then in terms of who's within 100 of the cutoff, it is everybody up until Noah Gragson in 30th. So Gragson, Berry, Zilich, Dillon, Bowman, Custer, and Ware are currently not within 100 of the playoff. Drivers who are within 100 are Briscoe, who is 6 off in 17th, Logano, who's 38 off in 18th, and then you've got Chastain, who is 47 behind, Allmendinger, who's 48 behind, McDowell, who's 58 behind, Dillon, who's 63 behind, Austin Dillon, that is. Then Smith and Boucher's 66 behind. I think that's right, yeah. Then Jones is 69 behind, haha, funny number. Gilliland is 77 behind. Stenhouse is 90 behind. After a really good round, Nemechek is 94 behind. And Riley Herbst is 97 behind. So that's the guys who are within 100 of the final chase spot in 16th, which is currently being held by Mr. Kiwi, Shane van Gisbergen, who took his first win of the season in the Glen. I think that's all that we're going to really cover today. I'm going to film the preview for this weekend's action, which is coming up, and that is, let's have a look, hang on, is that, I'm just trying to figure out, my eyes are looking funny. MotoGP, I probably won't cover Formula E, to be honest. Is NASCAR not on next weekend? No, don't tell me we have no NASCAR next weekend. Do we not have NASCAR next weekend? Please don't tell me we don't. Oh, no, we don't have NASCAR next weekend, do we? Do we? Please tell me we do. Please tell me 17th of... Okay. Oh, it's the All-Star race. Yeah, baby. Oh, I can't wait for that. All-Star race. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, All-Star race. I am looking forward to that. Because that is basically, if you don't know the All-Star race is, it's basically a round where there's no there's no points, but whoever wins it wins. I think it's $1 million. It's amazing. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's going to be held at Dover. So the full 36 car field is eligible, and the field gets inverted after the first stage, and the field gets shortened from 36 to 26 after stage 2. So that's basically whoever's in the top 26 at the end of stage 2 can win it. And I'm pretty sure, is it $1 million that they win? It's something like that, I'm pretty sure. But it's really, really cool. And I'm very, very much looking forward to that. Let me just have a little look. Okay, here we go. I'm getting up now. Oh, no, I can't. No, it's not coming up there. Yeah, I can't wait for it, though. It's going to be lots of fun. And it's going to be on at a very sensible time. It's going to be on at dinner time. Oh, perfect. I'll be home by then. So, yeah. I cannot wait for that. And yeah, so we will be previewing the Catalan Grand Prix for MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3, and the All-Star race for NASCAR. Or do I just do that now? Tell you what, I'm just going to do that now. Because it's only 2 events. I might as well just cover it now. Holy crap, there's 13 minutes of added time in the Spurs game. That's crazy. O'Hara and Cundy are going to be about 10 minutes late for their show. I'm talking about Sports Bar. Oh, the Home Secretary is saying that Starmer has to go. He has to go, blood. He has to go. Wait, hang on. Apparently something's going on in the playoffs. I want to just have a quick wee gander at this. Oh, Millwall are losing to Hull. I'm very happy about that because that means Millwall and Hull are going to be playing each other in the championship next season. Millwall and West Ham are going to be playing each other in the championship next season at the moment, and it's going to be absolute chaos. Also, Hull might get promoted to the Premier League, which is quite nice. But anyway, that's football. So, yes. Preview of MotoGP and NASCAR. So last year, it was Christopher Bell who won the All-Star race. And to be fair, I am looking forward to it. I don't know who's going to win it, though. Honestly, we shall see who is going to be up for winning that. Yes, so in terms of winners, there are multiple winners from recent times. Joey Logano and Kyle Larson have both won it multiple times. Logano twice, 2016, 2024, and Larson 3 times in 2019, 2021, and 2023. But they've held it in a number of different ways. And also it was at North Wilkesboro a few years ago. It's at Dover now. And if we're going to Racing Reference for some Dover stats... Tracks. There we go. Right. Now I just need to find it. Apologies, guys. Give me a moment. I'm just finding the Dover Motor Speedway. There we go. Right. So, in terms of past results there, here we go. Getting up for you guys now. Hamlin has won the last 2 years there. I'm going to just say Denny Hamlin because he's won 3 of the last 7 races there, I think. 3, 6. Yeah. He's won 3 of the last 7 races there. I'm going to just say Denny Hamlin. It's a safe bet. I'm going Hamlin wins the All-Star race. Anything can happen, but I think Hamlin will win it. And I think the shock will be SVG. I think he'll do well. Nah. That's a cop-out. Zilich. I'm going to go Zilich. I'm going to say Zilich because he had a bad weekend this weekend, considering everything. And I think he'll perform a bit better. And then we've got MotoGP, Catalan Grand Prix. Aprilia are probably going to win it, let's just be honest. Espargaro, I think, won there in the past. And actually, they had a 1-2 finish there in 2023, I think. One ahead of Maverick. So, I'm gonna say Aprilia win because it's a pretty safe bet. Who's going to win, though, out of those two? I mean, it's probably going to be Jorge Martin because, well, it's his home race, one of his home races. And I'm not expecting Bez to beat him at Catalunya. I don't know what his Bez... I can't remember Bez doing really well at Catalunya, but I could be wrong on that. And then underdog, I'm going to go Bastianini. He's been on a really good run of form recently, and I think he could do very well. And then when it comes to Moto2 and Moto3, I'm going to say David Munoz wins in Moto3. Either that or he'll bin it. And in Moto2, I'm going to... Tell you what, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say David Alonso for Moto2. And if you guys see this in a short, then that means that I've gotten my prediction right, and I'm going to say I'm Nostradamus again. Just like I did with Carson Osavar. I still can't believe I got that right, by the way. I still can't believe I got that right. I know it was a few weeks ago, but I'm still riding off that. I will be telling my kids one day, kids, have you ever heard of Carson Osavar? And he'll probably be like a... nah. I was going to say he'll probably be like at least a 3-time NASCAR champion by then. But nah, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to curse him. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode of Faster Than a Bullet. Honestly, not much to really preview. I want to just, get episode 10 out. And then enjoy this weekend's action. This will be the last ever episode with this background because I'm moving out of my flat. I think I'll actually give you guys a quick wee tour of it. So what I'll do is I'll zoom out and then you guys will be able to see everything. You guys can see my nose. Now you guys can see the black screen. Black hole sun, won't you come? Alright, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to get it. Okay, that's probably right. Yeah, so this is my setup. That's my bed with my guitar on it. This is what the view looks like from outside. I'm kind of exposing where I live, but like it's quite nice. And then that's just the rest of the setup. Essentially, there's not really much to it. And then this is the. Hang on, I'll go and switch that off. And hang on, let me just... You can see that's the... It looks... Oh my gosh! This looks like a video from like 2010. So I've got my my stuff up here. And then... yeah, this is... I use OBS for my videos and for my streaming. So, thank you guys for watching Faster Than a Bullet. I've been your host, Liam Plutner, as always. And I'll see you all in the next video. And by that point, oh my god, I've got red eye. No, I've got red eye. I'll film the outro. I'll film the outro like this, like it should be. Oh yeah, and I lean it on my computer right here. Yes. So, thank you guys. I'll zoom in again. Whoop, there we go. Oh, that's perfect actually. Thank you guys for watching Faster Than a Bullet. I've been your host, as always, Liam Plutner, and I will see you all for the next episode. Episode number 11 it will be, which might be next week. It should be. Because I'm officially done for the year when it comes to uni, which is lovely. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching Faster Than a Bullet episode number 10. We've hit double digits now, and we'll have the 11th episode out for you next week, hopefully. And we will hopefully have a lot to cover, including parts of the Indy 500 coverage. So yes, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to say. Oh yeah, I'll be back in my bedroom, my regular bedroom, my old videos were in. Oh, it's been a while since I've been making videos in my old bedroom. Anyway, getting a bit emotional. Bye guys.